guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the 26 books that I want to read for 2026. This is kind of like a fun challenge that I have been doing the past 4 or 5 years now. These are the books that I am most excited to read, either based on really good reviews I heard, favorite authors, books that I have been anticipating to read. I'm gonna be selecting books that I have that are on my physical TBR that I have been putting off for way too long, and I'm still super excited to read them. I also do have a short list of classics that I'm going to be attempting to read this year, but I'm gonna have that one separate from these 26 books. I have created different sections for these books. First, we have literary fiction, then we have a romance, we have a fantasy, thrillers and horrors, and cozy mystery books, or just cozy books in general. Let's get right into the list. I'm going to just do a quick fire of all the books that I want to read, and then I'll probably be doing some reading vlogs and talk about more of each one of the books as I am reading them or as I do my final wrap up for the months. So the first book for the literary fiction is going to be The Frozen River by Ariel Langhorne. So this is also on my January list of books to read. Also going to be reading Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. That's this one. I'm super excited to read this book here. I also want to read my first Murakami book. I'm actually really intimidated, but I have been reading a lot of Japanese translated fiction and I think I'm ready. But also, I've heard mixed reviews about Murakami. I heard that he can be a bit harsh on women, but we'll see. So this is the Norwegian Wood. Then I have Isabel Allende, The House of the Spirit, which is the first book by Isabel Allende. I have read 2 or 3 of her books and she's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors of all time. I'm actually also following her BBC Maestro class and I just love, love to hear how she comes up with her characters, her histories, her stories. Then we have A Long Petal of the Sea, also by Isabel Allende, which is a beautiful story about the Civil War on the 1930s in Spain. And this is actually a signed copy that my niece got for me. Next, I have The Snow Child by Elwin Ivy. Is the Snow Child. So in this book, we're following this couple that can't have children or can't have kids, and they go to this cabin in the snow and they build this snowman, and I think the snowman comes to life. So it just sounds like a sweet magical story. Next one is going to be A World of Wonders. This was one of the best books of the year by Barnes and Noble 2 or 3 years ago, and I added it to my list, and I actually never read this. So this is a beautiful collection of poetries about nature. The next one is going to be Wayward, and this is by Emilia Hart. This is a beautiful historical fiction novel that follows the life of 3 women during the span of 500 years, I think. So I'm really interested on that one as well. And then the next book that I have for my literary fiction is Matt Haig, The Life Impossible. So I don't think I'm holding this book right, but that is another one that I want to add to my list. I absolutely love The Midnight Library, and I just hope this book captures all of that magic and life lessons that that book brought to me. Like, I absolutely love that book. Okay, so now let's move on to some fantasy books. So the first book on my fantasy list is going to be Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This is another book that I added to my January TBR, and this is book number 2, or the continuation of The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is one of my favorite books. So cozy, so comforting to read, and I am excited to continue the story and revisit the beautiful island with those beautiful children. The next book that I want to add to my fantasy list, it is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, who is the same author as The Invisible Life of Audrey LaRue. another one of my favorite books, and so I can't wait to read this one. I don't know much about what this book is about. It just says three young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high, one grows deep, and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. So excited for that. The next book that I'm adding to this list is The Book of Doors by Garrett Brown. It seems to be a really magical adventure. It is a thriller, actually, like a fantasy thriller. So I'm definitely intrigued about this book. And I just love all these books that have doors that bring you to different places. It's kind of giving me Midnight Library vibes, and I'm just here for it. The next book here is Enchantra by Kylie Smith. So this is the continuation of Phantasma, and I absolutely love that book. I gave that book a 5 star, and I don't really like a lot of romantic fantasy, but this book, or the first book on this series, was so beautiful. I love the brutal challenges that they had on this house, and also the love story, and the ending just brought it all together for me. I was just beyond besotted with that book. So this is the continuation, and I'm super excited about it. And the next one here is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. Again, don't know much about this book, but it has been on my list for a long time. I wanted to read this so badly when it first came out, and I never got to it. So it says An Impossible Love, An Enchanted Legacy, and a Dangerous Discovery. And I know I absolutely love Isabel Ibanez. So again, very excited to put it on the list. And the last one for my fantasy books is going to be Anastasia by Sophie Lark. Now, this book, this is a big one. This is going to be a heavy one. But I heard just really good reviews about this book, and I just can't wait to see what it's all about. So, next, I have my romance books. I will go through this really quickly because for most of these, I don't know much about the premises, but it is always good to have a good romantic book on hand. So this one here is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Now this is a series. So this is the first one on the series, and I believe the last one, which is book number 4, just came out or is coming out next month. And I definitely want to start the series. I didn't want to put all 3 books in here. I do have all of them, but I want to start with the first one, and if I like it, I'll continue with the rest of the series. But for this list, I'm just going to count this as one book. Then I have a Soul by Olivia Atwater. Again, another one that had really beautiful reviews, and I wanted to see what this is all about. This is number 1 on a series as well. I do have number 2. So it is a romance, but also historical fiction. It has some magic, and I wanna explore this book. The next one is The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O'Clover. It is a new release, absolutely gorgeous cover. So on this book, we are following this B&B where you go if you have a broken heart, and you could possibly find a chance to love again. It just sounds so beautiful, and I love the small town setting. So excited for that. And then last on this list is going to be Emily Henry Great Big Beautiful Life, which is the most recent Emily Henry book, which I haven't read yet, but I have read all of Emily Henry's, and I love most of her books, so I'm excited to give this one a go. So I'm gonna try to read this one earlier on the year because I know she's coming out with another book for the summer. So those are all the romance books on my list. Next, I have a short list of thrillers slash horror books that I want to add to my list. Now, thrillers is the book that I read the most. So I try not to put them on too many lists because that is what I first gravitate to, and I read just way too many thrillers. So I try to add to my list other books, and so I can push myself to read different things. But thrillers are always my number one. So first I have How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates. This is the latest Darcy Coates, so I'm always reading her books. I'm always reading her new releases, but also my backlog of books that I have from Darcy Quotes. Next, I have Isabel Cañas, The Possession of Alva Diaz. This is another book that I added to my January TBR, so I'm going to be reading this one pretty soon. So this one we're following the story of this lady in the 1700s in Mexico that lives in a small town near a mine. So apparently there was a demonic something coming out from the mine and possessed Alba Diaz, I think. Next, I have Alice Finney's My Husband's Wife. This is the newest Alice Finney release, and I tend to like all her books, so I'm excited to see what this new one is about. I actually haven't even read the premises for the book. I already know I am gonna love it. And last on this list is going to be Rachel Harrison's Play Nice. I wanted to add this to the list. Again, I always read Rachel Harrison's books. She just has a sense of humor mixed with some horror that I really enjoy and gravitate towards. So this was her latest release, which I didn't get to last year, so it's definitely being added to this list. And last but not least on my list is going to be my cozy books. These are cozy either mysteries or just cozy books in general. The first book on this list is going to be Murder in Postscript by Mary Winters, which is the first book on a Lady of Letters mystery, which is a new historical mystery series. So excited for that. Next, I have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana, who is the same author as The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which I thought it was such a cozy, comforting book to read during the fall. And the last book on this list is going to be Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This book has been everywhere. This is like the very first comfy, comforting, cozy book, and I am definitely going to be reading this one finally this year. So those are all the books that I am adding to my 26 books to read on 2026. Let me know if you guys do a similar list like this, or which ones are your top 5 books that you want to read on 2026. And if you have read any of these books, also let me know on the comment section below. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.